waiting to go live, and here we are. That felt like it took a long time from when I clicked go live to when we actually went live. I'm noticing in my monitor right here, my face might appear to be a little bit red, and it's simply because I just got back from a really long run, and it is really hot out there today. Don't worry, I've showered. You get me clean. Don't worry. But yeah, it's a scorcher out here in the East Coast of Central Florida today, and I went out and I did my daily run. I didn't get to do it this morning. I usually try to do it when I first wake up, but I didn't, and I did have a small window of opportunity, and I went out and I ran. Got my 6 miles in, and that was a hot one. That was a hot one. All right, welcome aboard, everybody. I am seeing people joining in the chat. There were actually people that were here early. And I was chatting with people before we even went live. I didn't even realize you could do that. So if you were here early, a little bit of an early bird, thank you for being here and chatting with me. We shared a couple of nice little interactions there in the chat. We're streaming. My hero, Cicely Simpson, just joined. There she is with a quick good morning. I'm going to just show off her book. I got it right here. So you know what I do? I keep this book right here. And I read a little bit of it every day. So this is Cicely's book, and it is called Pull Up Your Chair. This is the definitive guide to becoming a leader. You don't need anything else, right? You don't need anything else than this. You just need this. Go to Amazon and type Pull Up Your Chair. What an amazing book. Every letter, I'm not going to give it all away. Every letter stands for something. I was hoping the C would stand for Chris, but it doesn't. Got to that part of the book. Got to admit, a little disappointed, but it stands for something much more important. So yeah, you definitely want to go and get this book. I stand nothing to gain from this. Cicely stands everything to gain from this because it's a phenomenal book. She wrote it. And if you want to be a leader, this is it. I can't help you be a leader. I can help you grow your business. Cicely Simpson, that woman can help you become a leader, massive leader. All right, we're rolling. A bunch of people are here. I had questions come in during the week, which I'm so very grateful for. I mean, this is I can take no credit for that, Cicely. It is all the work that you did. Hey, listen, I just opened my mouth and words came out. You took those words and you turned them into something. There's an attorney in the house. Attorney Randy Carpena is here. I got to be very careful with what I say. So disclaimer, anything I say, don't believe a word of what I say. There, is that good, Randy? Does that cover it all? All right. Shah's here. Nice to see you. And I'm glad you're here joining us today. So look, here's the deal. You can ask me questions anytime. This is our time together. You can ask me live here together. That's why I do this. But you can also ask me during the week in comments on videos. You can direct message me on LinkedIn. You can also get with me at chat.prouty.me, I said that really fast, chat.prouty.me. That's another way to get a hold of me. People drop questions to me all the time during the week. And the truth is, I'm a pretty busy guy. So I can't just sit here and answer questions throughout the week. I would love to be able to do that, but that's why I set this time aside. So if you've asked a question during the week, we are here together today, and I'm going to answer some of the questions. I actually have them up and in front of me. And the question it was a comment on one of my YouTube videos, which was about productivity and daily workflow and getting stuff done. And I really do love that topic. The people that I had a big swallow there, and I just realized I'm not hydrating enough. Hey, stand by. You should hydrate as well. I certainly hope you're keeping hydrated. Glad I did. So one of the questions was about productivity and daily workflow and getting things done during the day. Now, in my flagship program, Growth Galvanized, which is my private mastermind, you get to see me 3 times a week, live in person, and we turn people into business rocket ships, success rocket ships, as Cicely Simpson once said. If that sounds like something that's interesting to you, you can just go to prouty.me and I can tell you more about it. All right, well, I was talking about productivity and to-do lists. Oh yeah, I brought that up because that's what we do in there to great measure, is turn you into like really, really fine-tuned productivity rocket ships. So here are some things that you can start doing right now. And listen, I want you to hold me to this. By the end of our half an hour together today, You should have something that you can start doing now. You don't even have to wait until the end of this. You can start doing it right now to get more productive. And the reason that we want to do this is because we want to accelerate. We want to accelerate our businesses. We want to accelerate our growth. We want to become much more productive in all areas of our lives. I love to talk to people about the business area of their lives. And I'm just making sure I got the chat and I can see the full chat in case additional questions come in. So here are some things that you can do to start being more productive. And the very first thing, and look, you guys, you know what? This is going to be a hard conversation to have. And I was just having this conversation last night with one of my mentoring groups. This is a hard one to have. And if you can grasp this, you don't need the rest. If you can get this one first part right, you don't need any other tips. And that's why I'm going to share this one with you first, because if you're sitting there and you're like, I've got that, you can just kind of sit and listen to me vamp with the rest of these things. And the very first thing that you need, it's two parts. You need to be highly, highly inspired by what you do for work. Like, you have to be unbelievably inspired by it. It has to be one of those things that when you start doing it, time vanishes, space vanishes, distractions dematerialize. You're so inspired by what you do that's what happens. So those are the indicators that you are inspired, by the way. I'll tell you why this happens in just a moment. One of the indicators that you are so inspired by what you do is that you have a state of global transient amnesia. And global transient amnesia is, you've all experienced it. It's when time has gone by and you don't realize time has gone by. You might have been driving somewhere that you were really anticipating getting to, and you were thinking about what it's going to be like to be there and things you're going to get to do when you're there. And the time you're like, I don't remember the last 40 miles. Does that ever happen to you? That's called global transient amnesia. That happens when you're very inspired, when you have very inspiring thoughts that are flowing through your head, through your brain. Okay. So that's a key indicator. Now, that happens to me in work. When I'm doing my work, which is helping entrepreneurs and experts attract high-paying clients, that's my job. When I teach them how to do that, been doing it for 21 years, by the way, when I teach them how to do that, time just vanishes. And I'll be sitting on my mentoring calls and my Q&As, and all of a sudden I'll look at the clock and an hour will have gone by like that. And I'll be like, where did that time go? Well, I know where it went. If the time went by, just it would go by if I were sitting here, doodling. But I didn't notice it going by because I'm so inspired by what I do. Okay, so if you're looking for me to tell you, write down a to-do list with 3 things on it, sure, I'll tell you to do that, and that will probably help you. But that's a tactic. You can learn that from anyone. But what you can't learn from just anyone is that the true way to get more done and to be productive is to be highly inspired by what you do. Because once that happens, everything else goes away. I'm so inspired by helping entrepreneurs and experts attract high-paying clients that I never need a reminder to do it. I never need a to-do list. I don't need alerts going off telling me I need to do something. It is my natural state of being. And when you can find that as a job and as a service to others, every other productivity hack or trick is meaningless. You don't need it. Okay? You don't need it because you go into that focused state where you're focused on what inspires you the most. I certainly do hope that makes sense. The second part to that is that it would be wise to find a group of people who inspire you as well. Who are the people that you could talk to for hours and hours and hours and never get tired of talking to them? Who are those people? Who are those people? You got to figure out who those people are. Because you're going in your job as an entrepreneur, as an expert, you're going to have to talk to people. And you're going to have to talk to them all the time. You're going to have to talk to them every day. These are your clients, right? You're going to have to talk to these people all the time. If you're not inspired by the people that you're working with, you're not going to want to talk to them. you're going to look for distractions. And a distraction is the one thing that is going to destroy your productivity. So if you're inspired by the people that you're working with, you look forward to getting messages from them. You look forward to communicating with them. You look forward to the meetings with them. You look forward to servicing them, getting them results, getting their clients results. Second order consequence. But only when you're really inspired to work with them. Who am I inspired to work with? Entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, coaches, consultants, experts. You guys watching this right now inspire me. I can't wait to talk to you. I can't wait to be in your company. And when we're done, I can't wait till the next time. I can wait because I have to wait, but I so look forward to every single interaction. And I wish the same for you and the people that you serve. So what I want you to do so that you can not have to worry about the rest of this list, what I want you to do is engage in some honest self-reflection for me. It shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. Go to a quiet place and reflect and say, am I really inspired by what I do? And am I really inspired by the people I'm doing it for? If it's not a definite yes, then it's an absolute no. And you're going to need to figure that out. It would be wise to figure that out sooner rather than later. Look, at the end of your life, when you're looking back, and you're not inspired by what you do, you're not inspired by the people that you serve, how are you going to feel about that? Right? How are you going to feel about that? You'd be like, I wasted most of my life dealing with people I don't like, doing something I don't like. There's a better way. We unlock all of that in Growth Galvanized, in my flagship program, which, again, if you're interested in something like that, Prouty.me is a great way to learn more about it. Just point your web browser to Prouty.me and we can talk about it. We don't let everybody into this thing. So you got to be right. But that's what we uncover. And we help people zoom right in on what inspires them the most and who inspires them the most. And then how do you put those two, this is the third part of the recipe. How do you put those two things together so that you can get paid beautifully for it? Right. And there's actually somebody in the audience today, right now, I don't want to call anybody out, who has done that so incredibly well. And I'm watching their business open up. I'm just watching it open up. Hey, look, it's not easy. It's not easy to find this kind of success, but my goodness, is it inspiring to watch. And that's another component, is you must be inspired by the results that the people that inspire you get from getting from you what inspires you the most. It's just got to be that way. So why is it that way? You ready? You want a little science lesson? You're sticking with me on this? The chat is awful quiet, so I feel like I have stunned you to silence. I just want to make sure. Boy, that chat is quiet. There's a big group of people here, but the chat is quiet. So I have stunned you to silence. I'm going to keep going. Here's the scientific reason why it happens. We're going to break your brain into 3 components. By the way, if you're watching this on the replay, feel free to comment takeaways and hit the whatever, that thumb button or the subscribe button. That would be really great if you did that, if you hit that subscribe button. Okay, your brain is broken into 3 parts. You have the ancient part of your brain, the reptilian part of your brain, which is the basal ganglia. Then you have the next evolved part of your brain that mammals were able to develop. That's the mammalian brain, or the limbic system. And then you have the evolved part of your brain. That's your forebrain. That is your neocortex. And each of these parts of the brain have different responsibilities. Your basal ganglia is responsible for one thing: watching out for something that's going to kill you. 24 hours a day, it is always watching for something that's going to kill you. Your limbic system regulates the basal ganglia, and together those work to simply keep you alive and regulate you. They're responsible for every bit of regulation. All mammals have this. Your dog has this. What your dog doesn't have is the neocortex, which is the evolved part of your brain. The evolved part of your brain is responsible for thought, for logic, for reasoning. It's responsible for inspiration. When you are inspired, you are triggering your forebrain. You're triggering your neocortex. And when you trigger your neocortex, we're going to wrap this right back around to something I said earlier, which is global transient amnesia. When you stimulate your neocortex, it reaches around the rest of your brain electronically through electric impulses and shuts down the rest. so that your inspired brain can function. And this is where you get into what some people call flow state. Some people call intense levels of focus. And if you came here today hoping for me to tell you, make a to-do list with 3 big things and 2 small things, there you go. Make a to-do list with 3 big things and 2 small things. You'll get stuff done, but you're never going to join the rest of us who are working from a state of inspiration. So when you stimulate the forebrain, when you stimulate the neocortex, by doing inspired action, by taking inspired action, you are essentially creating new neural pathways, strengthening the bonds between neurons, causing your neocortex, we know this from scientific research and experimentation, causing the neocortex to expand and grow. And at the same time, you're shrinking the basal ganglia and the limbic system. You're shrinking the primitive parts of your brain that have control over you. How do you know when you got this right? You no longer feel a desire for distraction. You no longer are going and scrolling social media and comparing yourself to others. You are unaffected by the highs and lows of everyone else around you. You remove all distractions and can get straight to work. You no longer feel a need to go and have a snack, have a drink, watch something on television, or find some other distraction, or play tic-tac-toe or doodle a pickle. You don't have those urges or those impulses anymore, because you're executing in an inspired state, and your inspired state wants to keep moving in that direction. That's how you know when you get it right. The moment you feel like you want to go get a snack, this is one we talk about all the time in Growth Galvanized, is that the moment you feel like you want to go get a snack, you're not doing what inspires you the most. I don't care how hungry you are. I engage in fasting. I will fast for 18 to 24 hours every day. I'm 18 hours fasted right now. I do not feel an urge to go eat anything, because I'm so inspired by what I'm doing right now and what I did immediately before this and what I'm going to do immediately after this. When you're in that high state of inspiration, nothing, sorry, let me just shut this phone call off. Nothing will distract you. So when you find yourself compelled towards distraction, it's time to take a look and say, hey, maybe I'm not bringing inspired action right now. And when you have that, you no longer need, I'll wait for somebody from Galvanized to chime in. When you have that, there's something you no longer need. I'll get to that in a second. If you're in a Galvanized program and you're here, pop it in the chat. What is it you no longer need when you're working from an inspired state? I'll wait for you on that. So when you get yourself there, you no longer need any of those distractions. And when you have that, you move into a state of perpetually moving forward faster and faster and faster, and you build momentum. And you get to that point where you just want to keep working on that inspired mission, whatever it is. And people around you won't understand it. That's another great indicator when you're getting it right. Most people work from the lower 2/3 of the brain. When it comes to money, when it comes to business, when it comes to anything that they do in their lives, most people work from the lower 2/3 of the brain. They work from the basal ganglia and the limbic system. That's where most people are functioning, because those 2 parts of the brain are so powerful. They've kept us alive for tens of thousands of years. Of course they're powerful, right? Dogs can live without a neocortex. And most people allow those 2 parts of their brain to control them because they're just so powerful. Your neocortex isn't as powerful. It functions at 1/2000th the speed of the rest of your brain. So the rest of your brain can be like, oh, hey, you gotta go do this, you gotta go do this, you gotta go do this. It's all to keep you alive. But when you can stimulate the neocortex through inspiration, you can calm down the other parts of your brain. You actually, as I said before, you shrink those parts of the brain. Yeah, right. Cicely says, great points on inspiration and distraction. Randy says, most people won't understand. She totally relates to that. It's true. And look, this isn't a judgment. This is merely an observation. When you work from a higher state of inspiration, by the way, we're talking about being more productive today, but we're talking about it in a way that nobody else talks about it. No, I have a list. I have a dumb list of stuff that you can do. Here, let me read the list just to get this through for you people who need that. Follow the 80-20 rule. Try to get hard stuff done in the morning. Try to spend less time messaging. Try to stop multitasking. Turn off notifications on your phone. Create systems. There's your list. If you need a list, there's your list. What I want you to do is work from an inspired state. Once people stop understanding what you're doing, you know you're getting it right. Because 99% of people in the world are functioning from down here, the lower 2/3 of the brain. You're functioning from up here, the inspired part of the brain. And people just can't understand that. And it's not a problem. It's not a judgment in any way. It is simply an identification of the characteristics of success. And that's where you're going to start to drive towards success. And it's fine that they don't understand what you're doing. You just smile and say, I got this. I'm totally fine. So what I wanted to say was this: when you work from an elevated state of inspiration, you no longer need motivation to keep you moving forward. Motivation becomes a thing of the past. Because when you work from that state of inspiration, your neocortex, it gets stronger, it gets more powerful. And when you have a powerful, strong neocortex in your brain, you just always want to be in that flow of working in inspiration. And truly, anything other than that becomes an annoyance for you. There's another indicator. There are people that I work with in private advisory, and if that's something that interests you, prouty.me, great way to find out about it. There are people that I work with in private advisory that will message me and they'll be like, the weekend is coming and I don't want to stop working. I'm like, so don't stop working. But my family. Well, does your family inspire you? Yeah. Then spend time with your family. When they go to bed, get back to work. That's what I do. I'm so inspired. I have 4 small children. I love spending time with my children. It inspires me to no end. So when time comes to spend time with them, and truly for me, every day is exactly the same. Sunday through Saturday, they're all the same. But when it comes time to spending time with my children, I am in that inspired state with them and time vanishes. But when they go to bed, I get back to work. I get back to my state of inspiration. People won't understand that. And it's okay. And people won't understand, oh, why aren't you going out? Why are you working at night? Why are you working on the weekends? Because you're so hyper productive. You're just getting so much more done. It's all you want to do. If you're not feeling that, then it's time to ask yourself, am I highly inspired by what I do? That's the biggest productivity hack I could ever teach you. It's the biggest one I could ever teach you. When that happens, the 80-20 rule just falls into place. You're doing less, you're getting more done. You're doing 20% of the work you used to do, you're getting 80% of the results. The Pareto principle. You are leveraging the Parkinson's law. You're leveraging Parkinson's law, which says Parkinson's law states that if you give yourself a certain amount of time to get something done, you're going to get it done in that time. If you give yourself 3 days to clean your house, it's going to take you 3 days to clean your house. If you give yourself 3 hours to clean your house, it's going to take you 3 hours to clean your house. Dog ear that. I'll come back to that. So you're leveraging Parkinson's law. You're leveraging the Pareto principle. How can you not be more productive? You don't even respond to messages that come in because they're not inspiring you anymore. Multitasking doesn't even feel like a thing because you're unifocused. You're singularly focused on that one area of inspiration because your forebrain is loving it. It's loving every minute of it. It's generating all of the chemicals that make you feel incredible, right? The distractions are gone. Notifications are gone. You don't need discipline because you're just compelled to do it and you no longer need motivation. One of the things on my list is, tackle the hard things before lunch. There are no more hard things when you're working from a state of inspiration. Everything is flow. Everything is easy when you work from a state of inspiration. Cicely says, when you're inspired, you can manage your focus, not your time. And there is a key distinction there. I agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. And that is someone who works from a high state of inspiration. She wrote this book in like 2 months. This is a hardcover book, and the words are not very big. If I were writing a book, the font size would be gigantic. It would be paperback. It would be like 7 pages. It would be more of a pamphlet than a book. That's a state of inspiration that came out in print. This is inspiration. Go to Amazon and please find this book. This is inspiration in print. When you work from a state of inspiration, people around you don't understand you. People around you are worried about you. You make people very, very nervous because no one else works from a state of inspiration. So the question that came in, how do I become more productive? You become more productive by doing something that inspires you for people that inspire you, and you get paid beautifully for it. You won't believe how productive you can become when you do that. I said to dog ear something, and I should have jotted it down because I forgot what it was that I was going to talk about. Maybe remind me in the chat of what I was going to talk about, but I'm sure that I've covered it in some way. So my question for you is, and you can tell me here, those of you who are still here in the chat, what is it that truly inspires you? Can you say what truly inspires you? And this might be a great exercise for you right now, if you're watching this on a replay, is to take out, this is something that I will tell you. This is a tactical that I will tell you. Get a book like this. This is a blank journal. I'll show you just a little bit. I got all the secrets in here, so all the secrets are in here, but you can see every page is kind of written on. You're going to go and you're going to get one of these books. And then you're going to get a pencil. And this pencil is dedicated only to this book. So they stay together. And then in Growth Galvanized, we talk about a very special bookmark that you can use. I don't want to share that secret outside of Growth Galvanized, but we do. There's a very special bookmark that you can get that's going to amplify the effectiveness of all of this. Message, getonprouty.me, and I'll tell you all about it. And then every day you're going to start writing down when something inspires you. You're going to start writing it down. You're going to make a little list. Look, I'll give you a little peek. Every single day. Oh, this is a good one. This was a good day. Ready? Ready? I just showed you really quick. You can freeze frame on that if you want. But I have a list of 10 things that inspired me that day. And then I even drew a little diagram up there that signifies what they all mean. And once I did this, with this, I was able to zoom right in and get really hyper-focused. So the things I write in this are things that inspire me and things that I'm incredibly grateful for, because I do try to find areas of gratitude every single day. Because as one of the members of my private mastermind says, gratitude and abundance vibrate on the same frequency. So when you are constantly in a state of gratitude, abundance is naturally going to be attracted to you. So that's why we do that. That's why we have this book. It's really just a very simple $7 on Amazon. Maybe I spent a little bit more on the pencil. The pencil stays with the book. I never have to look for the pencil. And if a kid comes in here asking for a pencil, they don't get this one. They can try. They don't get it, because that pencil is only used for writing words of inspiration and words of gratitude. And it would be wise for you to do the same. And once you start to do that, you're going to find that your productivity goes through the roof. You're not going to want. Listen. Here's something that many people know about me. I stopped checking email in 2019. It takes an act of Congress. If Cicely, you can tell me if Congress makes acts. I don't know if they do. So it's an act of government to get me to check email. People have to call me and say, "Hey, I sent you an email. Could you please open your email?" I'm like, I don't even know where my email is, because I communicate with the people I serve through text and messenger, and that's it. Email takes too long. Email makes me very unproductive. Email is very uninspiring to me. But the real time of chat, that inspires me greatly. I can have much bigger impact on someone through chat than I can through email. So that is how I became more productive. I removed the time suck that is email. A lot of people will tell you to check email in the morning, check email in the afternoon, because they know it's such a time suck. I'm going to say, train the people you serve to communicate with you in a much more rapid manner. so that you're not having to get sucked into email. Now, some of you are going to be like, oh, I can never get off of email. I know, I used to feel the same way. And then I discovered that you don't really need email like you think you need email. So, that might be something to explore, is getting rid of something like that. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, well, it would be a genius idea to do so. Look around this video. You're going to see a subscription link somewhere. You'll get an alert every time I release a video about growing your business, every time I release a video about how your brain works as an entrepreneur and how you can get on a success rocket ship. Speaking of the success rocket ship, if you're interested in exploring what it's like to work with me on an advisory basis or in one of my masterminds, I put a pinned comment, and I will put a comment below the recording for Prouty.me. It's my last name.me. That's how you can get on my calendar, and we can explore and decide together what learning track is right for you so that you can grow faster without having to guess. I'm here every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. I'm so grateful for all of you who joined in today and sent in questions throughout the week. We'll be back here next week for more thrills and more fun. Thanks for being here with me today. I'm going to hang out in the chat for you live people. I'm going to hang out in the chat for the next 5 minutes. If you want to chat with me, this video is going to end, but I will still be in the chat. Deep gratitude for all of you. Find that thing that inspires you, and you will never need to worry about productivity again. You have my word on that. I'll see you next week.